Guys, Logan Paul, Mike Tyson, crazy. What do you think? Honestly, I'll be excited to see it because there's so many things that factor into this. It's all over the headlines right now. I'm not 100% sure if it's official yet. It would be cool if it was an official fight when it happens, something that goes on the guy's records, sanctioned. But I don't know about that. It's probably going to be another exhibition. So you never know what you're going to get with an exhibition. Does Mike Tyson still have that killer instinct in him? You know, I don't know. I don't think so. When he fought Roy Jones Jr., he he didn't rush at Roy Jones as much. He was, he's a little more stationary in front of Jones. He did come at him though, and credit to Jones. Roy Jones was keeping him on the end of his punches and boxing him pretty well. Being an older guy, he did a pretty good job in there. But Tyson, he kind of didn't seem like he had that just killer instinct anymore in there in that exhibition. It kind of seemed like, yeah, he's in there in an exhibition. He got tired. He definitely exerted himself. But did he go for that KO? I don't know about that. Tyson, he did. He still, you could hear his shots. He still had them thudding hard shots. His punches were still fast, but they were more of a one at a time. Real fast, whip a punch out there, hard body shot. But he wasn't really following up much. But that could also be a credit to Jones. Getting in, getting out of the way after he got his punches off. For how old he was, I was real impressed. But this ain't about the Jones Tyson. This is about Logan Paul, Mike Tyson. I'm just kind of trying to, rate Tyson's performance in that fight to try to figure out how he might do against Logan. But I can't really compare Logan to Roy Jones, even though Roy Jones was way past his prime in that fight. Logan Paul, his boxing record is 0-1. He had some of those fights, those amateur fights. I think they considered them amateur fights. It's against KSI, and he had those 2 KSI fights. He had the exhibition against Roy Jones, or not Roy Jones. Sorry guys, Floyd Mayweather. So he's only got one official professional fight. I can't remember. He might have fought somebody else too. I can't remember in one of those amateur YouTube fights. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. That's besides the point. He's 0-1 as a pro boxer, and Mike Tyson was 50-6. Tyson always had problems with bigger guys that could box real well, and Logan Paul, he is a bigger guy, but he's not as big as any of the guys that Tyson had problems with, I don't think. At least height and weight wise. I think Holyfield was at least 6'3". Could be wrong. I believe Logan's 6'2". I tried to look them up on Google earlier, like the weight and height and all that. And but Logan don't have the boxing ability of those guys, Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas way back in the day when he pulled off that huge upset. I think Kevin McBride. I actually watched that fight when it happened. Danny Williams. I actually watched that fight too. And Williams went on to lose after he beat Tyson. I'm pretty sure there was a point where he went on to lose 20 fights in a row at one time. So, anyways, Tyson, 50 wins, 6 losses, 44 KOs, and he was stopped 5 times. And obviously he lost to Lennox Lewis. So his experience-wise, there's no matchup. Tyson and Logan Paul, it's worlds apart. But as far as like who's the younger guy and fresher guy, it's obviously Logan. Who's the bigger guy? Well, as far as height, it's Logan. But overall, they're probably close in weight. Tyson's probably heavier. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to factor into this fight. You know, Tyson, does he have his killer instinct? Logan Paul's going to have to, he's going to have to look better than ever, because he's going to have to try to keep Tyson on the end of his punches and move around, and he don't want to get in there and mix it up with Tyson. If he does get in, he wants to just try to tie Tyson up, because that's going to be his only chance to survive in there. I mean, if Tyson's really gunning for him, so he's going to have to try to box him, keep him away on the end of his punches. If he does get in, he's going to have to try to tie Tyson up. And them body shots that Tyson was throwing on Roy Jones Jr., if he throws them on Logan Paul, I don't know if Logan can handle those. Those are some pretty hard, thudding shots. I know Mayweather has some speed, and he probably hit Logan with a little whiplash with that speed. But this is going to be a thudding, heavy-handed, and fast power. It's going to be like a whiplash. He got hit with a boulder. And so, who knows if Logan can take one of those. But again, does Tyson have that killer instinct? Is he going to want to go in there and hurt Logan? I don't know. I don't think he's going to want to do that. I mean, will he carry Logan to the end? Could that happen? Maybe. But I'm not counting Logan out and saying he has. I think he has definitely a good chance to get to the end, especially if it's an exhibition and it's only, a handful of rounds, 6-8 rounds. I think there's a possibility if he trains real hard, and he does all the right things and doesn't make any mistakes, and Tyson just comes in looking worse than ever, looking worse than he did against Jones. Logan can go get to the end of the fight. Is he gonna knock out Mike Tyson? I highly, highly doubt that. It'd be such a slim chance for something like that to happen, because Tyson's older, slower, everything. Tyson might stand right in front of him, but is Logan gonna put him out with one shot? I doubt it. And is Logan gonna be putting combos together, master class of boxing? No, that's not gonna happen either. But we might see something that we might see. It'll be cool to see a little bit of back and forth. It'll be cool to see Logan land some good shots in there and survive, not get knocked out. But a lot of people are gonna want to see the knockout too. If Logan won that thing, that would be insanely crazy. But like a decision or something like that, if there was actually a decision, is that possible? I mean, I don't know. I can't see Logan. Like I said, I can't see Logan pulling off a master class of boxing and landing combos and scoring points and everything. Honestly, if somebody could do something like that, I think the brother, Jake, at this point would have a better chance at pulling off a win that way. But actually, Jake Paul looked pretty good in this fight, and I think that Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight definitely will be something to watch, because I think it'll be pretty entertaining to see Jake Paul's improvement, and I definitely do think it'll be Paul's toughest fight and hardest fight. That could go either way. I think Fury has the slight edge right now, just based on his skill. But yeah, guys, the big news was Tyson and Logan Paul. I'll do another video, I think, where I'll pick one of them, and I'll kind of break down if there's any footage I can even show, really, like in its entirety, where I could like break down something in a fight and say, look, Paul has to do this, this, and this to have a chance to win the fight. And we'll see what he does. Or I'll look at Mike Tyson and say, Tyson has to do this to win the fight. But I mean, that's a given what he has to do. He just has to go out there and perform. Tyson does. Paul would have to have a amazing game plan and pull it off 100% to the T. No mistakes. Just flawless. And I don't think he could do that hands down thing the way he did against Mayweather, against Tyson. I get it, you can have your hands down if you're on the outside and you're out of range, or you're putting them on the end of your punches and you're moving, but Logan, he can't have his hands down in close with Tyson or in his range, and Tyson does that leaping thing too. So sometimes I think guys might feel like they're out of range and they're not. Yeah, that's it. I kind of rambled about it. I probably went, every which direction. I tried to stay on track and talk about Logan Paul, Mike Tyson. But it's exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you excited? Do you think it's ridiculous? Will you watch it? I'll watch it. As long as it's reasonable to watch. But yeah, guys, drop a like. And if you like the video, consider subscribing. Fun talk. I think I said everything I wanted to say for now. I really do want to break down some footage, but for now, I've said it all. Doc Holliday, out.